Oh, I have some hard feelings about work. It seems to me that many people who are honestly inquiring into their existence, who are trying to grow their consciousness, who are wanting to attend to difficult feelings that they experience as they try to attempt at doing big things, people who want to be more themselves across all areas of their life, people who are sensitive, or people who grow their sensitivity by engaging in nervous system regulation practices or relational practices that allow them to develop more connection with other people and be more vulnerable with them. People like that don't really fit with the current culture at work, where emotions are not valued equally with intellect, where relationships are oriented around shared goals and tasks, but not as much around our shared humanness, and where we commit to bigger actions that can take years to deliver without acknowledging that as we collaborate and work, we grow and we change and we evolve, and what is right to do changes too. Plans that make sense today might not actually be optimal anymore a year or even months down the line, but we commit to them because we promised investors that we're going to deliver certain results, because we promised our leaders that we are going to deliver certain results, and because we become identified with being a person who delivers certain results. So there are some real forces that make it hard for us to actually pause and notice what's happening as we're trying to deliver on certain goals. And I don't think that means that we should never make plans or deliver products. I just think there's something about the way we do it that makes things unsustainable right now. And it's very subtle. It's very subtle. On no given day can you really notice the magnitude of a spiral that you might be in. Each given day is just a little drop in the bigger ocean of what we call burnout or self coercion, or doing something that you don't actually want to do. But within the scope of each day, it is somehow excusable or easy to ignore. Or perhaps it is just hard to talk about how it feels like. So we don't. And we talk about things that we know how to talk about, which is the things we have done or haven't done yet, or the things we want to do, or the data that we have looked at. But there's something growing in the background. There's a certain accumulation of misalignment, offness, exhaustion, and a growing gap between who we feel we are and what our life seems like or what we look like from the outside. Yeah. And especially if our workplace explicitly values the way we seem we are, there's even less of an incentive to actually be who you are. And if your livelihood depends on this company liking you and paying you, then there's even less incentives to actually be who you want to be and do what feels right. So you do the thing that you need to do or you should do. And it continues until it can't continue anymore. And you break down. You have a panic attack. You suddenly cry a lot. You just can't focus. I believe something better is possible. I believe that we can create a work environment that actually makes it easier for us to be with our experience. And I can imagine people arguing, well, isn't that just going to make us all do a lot of emotional processing and crying at work all the time? Well, not quite. Because, what is locked up in who we actually are and what we actually feel is also creativity, intuition, life energy, motivation, kindness, effectiveness, leadership, inspiration. And so, right now, it's as if we try to squeeze ourselves into a box that fits or is acceptable by the culture that we're in and deliver results from that place. Another approach could be to make work a container where you can explore how all different parts of you want to contribute to a bigger goal or a vision or a purpose that you feel resonance with. Yeah, I think it's possible. I think it's possible to actually be nourished through work. But the paradigm would have to change a bit. Right now, we're in a paradigm where we work first and then we can be and exist. And I think a new paradigm is something like you exist and you are first, and then you choose to work when it's appropriate. And usually the work that comes out of that is pretty good, but we just don't know. We don't know how that would work. We don't yet know how to build planes in this way and whether they would get built. Maybe we know how to be a coach, tutor, a writer in this way, but we don't really know how to do big action in this way. And there's fear. There's fear of investing a lot of resources and things going nowhere. We don't really know what to trust in the chaos of what it means to be a full human. It's easier to trust a very controlled version of what it means to be a human. It's less unpredictable and easier to control. I want to find out what is it that we can trust in this new system. And how can we learn to trust uncertainty? Because I think there's some unexpected gifts to be found in this new system. There's a certain level of collaboration and creativity that we need to actually attempt to solve these big societal problems. I just don't trust that the system based on coercion and self denial is going to help us solve these societal problems that are caused by this very system. And so I think we need to learn to trust. I think it's only our humanness that can reverse some of these patterns that are caused by inhumanness, inhumane forces that we have set in motion. Yeah, I believe that it's the humane forces that can help us balance things out. And I think it's possible for us to create a culture where we can strategically use our humane forces to support problem solving and collaboration.